Hello everyone, I'm Kalen North, and today we're going to be doing another level 6 adversary game. Today we're going to be taking on the Kingdom of Sweden, and we're going to be doing it with Wildfire. Wildfire and Sweden is a matchup I used for my Sweden 6 speedrun, but that one relied heavily on getting Unrelenting Growth as a power, which seems fairly unlikely if we're just going at it randomly. But I'm going to do the best I can here and see where we can go. So we're going to play with Branch and Claw and Events on. So full game against Sweden with Wildfire. I like board D for Wildfire largely because it lets us destroy the town in land 7 initially. We can just take care of it immediately on turn 1. That's going to be pretty useful here because we are going to get some extra invaders coming into land 7. And land 4 as well, so we'll see what we can do here. I'm going to start by gaining energy and presence, going from the top track. I am going to grow into land 7 to burn the Explorer, and then I'm going to use Flame's Fury plus Firestorm in order to actually take out the town. As far as the Dahan go, I'm going to push them into land 5. Reason being, I want to get them into an area where they're going to be safe against a potential escalation from Sweden in the near future. On that same note, I possibly should have put the town from Royal Backing into land 3 rather than land 1, but I prefer to keep that corner clear if I can, just because it can get very problematic once it starts blighting. So we're going to play Flame's Fury, we're going to Firestorm in land 7, and let them build in land 4. They explore in the mountains. And now we get to make a decision. Do we go ahead and try and solve land 4, which we can do with Threatening Flames plus placing our second fire symbol? Or do we want to solve land 5 and go top track, trying to keep the invaders under control somewhat? Or even land 8, which might be better because then we can go ahead and burn the city, or the town rather, and push out the Explorer. So I think what I want to do here is I want to gain a power card first off. I'm going to gain a major, because I really like majors in this matchup, and see what we get, and try and go from there. Alright, so Insatiable Hunger of the Swarm is nice. It deals lots of damage, it causes blight, which is less nice, but that's okay. Winds of Rust and Atrophy is great. Downgrading invaders against Sweden really helps decrease the amount of damage they do. If we played Winds of Rust and Atrophy this turn, we could solve land 4 with it. And probably that might not be a bad idea, actually, if we grow into land 5, play Winds of Rust and Atrophy, and then let the counterattack take out land 4. Sea Monsters is a great power in general, although it's less useful on board D, and it's less useful for Wildfire because the elements aren't amazing. And Terrifying Nightmares I like, but I don't think is going to be very good in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and take Winds of Rust and Atrophy, and try and start doing some stuff with Dahan counterattacks. The other option, of course, would be to take Insatiable Hunger of the Swarm and start throwing more blight on the board, but also get some extra fear and some extra beasts out there. But we're going to do Winds of Rust and Atrophy. I like to forget Flash Fires here. I think it's sort of underwhelming as far as Wildfire's powers are concerned. And then I'm going to keep going from the top track this turn, go into land 5, and push the Dahan into land 4. We'll play Winds of Rust and Atrophy as our sole card. We will defend land 4 and downgrade the city so they only deal 7 damage. And Sacred Site's under threat. That's fine. We don't actually care about that because we don't have any Sacred Sites with invaders. We also unfortunately don't have 4 Dahan among our lands, so this event is going to be pretty nothing burger here. We do get to move a beast. I'm going to move the beast from land 3 into land 2, just because land 4 should be taken care of already, and land 2 has a city in it. It might be useful. It's kind of questionable. Alright, invaders build in the mountains, and we got a Dahan converted in land 1, unfortunately, when they explored the wetlands, but we should be alright regardless. I'm going to go ahead and solve land 8 as best I can here. I would like to try and take out let's see. In order to do that, I probably need to cascade a blight, because I want a second fire symbol in order to deal enough damage to the city in order to take care of it. Then we'll Threatening Flames the town out of there and put it into land 1, and land 1 will just be our giant problem land that we have to deal with next turn. Except the problem with that, of course, is then we cascade the blight into land 1, which is not ideal for us. So I think I might instead... Well, no, we can't let land 8 ravage. We could let land 8 ravage, but it's going to be really bad if we do. So I'm going to go ahead and uncover my second fire symbol, deal 2 damage to the city, cascade the blight. I don't want to flip the blight card right away, so I'm going to go to land 1 rather than go through 7 to 6. And I get some energy. We'll play Threatening Flames, which should be enough to finish the land off for us. So we Firestorm, take out the city, get a couple of fear. Threatening Flames, push the town out into land 1. All right, we're at terror level 1, I believe, so we add a explorer to a land without invaders or Dahan. And unfortunately, our beast is not somewhere that's conducive to us doing that effectively. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that guy into the mountain where he won't do any harm. And then, all right, we can push a explorer into a land with more buildings, so we can stop the build in land 3, which is great. And Scapegoats takes out an explorer. The Ravage does basically nothing. And the invaders explore in the sands. All right. Now, this turn, I would like to gain a major power because I would like to do something to take care of land 1, and I don't think that anything I have right now can handle it. Winds of Rust and Atrophy, if we reclaimed, would not be enough, just because it only has the ability to prevent 6 damage, and we're looking at 12 damage coming in, even with the downgrade from Winds of Rust and Atrophy. So I'm going to gain a major power card. And let's see, Pent-Up Calamity is our only fast option. And that's not going to do quite enough to handle land 1. So land 1 is going to blight. It's going to double blight and cascade, probably into land 2. And we're going to get that extra city from Mining Rush, or town rather, from Mining Rush into one of lands 2, 5, or 8. We don't want to put it in land 7 if we can help it. I am still going to take Pent-Up Calamity, I think, just because we're going to be able to use it to solve land 4 very nicely here. We could also use it on land 2 to just clear the city there. And that might be worth doing just on its own. And then finally, none of the other powers here are going to do a ton. Twisted Flowers Murmur Ultimatums could be nice, but it is slow and a little underwhelming in that regard. Accelerated Rot, we're not going to be able to threshold, and so isn't too impressive. And Smothering Infestation, we're not really in the jungles and wetlands right now. All our presence is in sands and mountains, so the targeting restriction on it is just a little bit too much. So I'm going to take Pent-Up Calamity. I'm going to go ahead and forget Winds of Rust and Atrophy. Yeah, I'm going to forget Winds of Rust and Atrophy, because I think that it's done its work, and we're going to have pretty good control over the board from here. So then we get to place a presence. I would like to go to 2 card plays, probably. And I think that in doing that, I'm going to set up... Let's see, we want a Firestorm in land 7, and we're going to take a Blight. I'm going to take the Blight in land 4 and push the Dahan back into land 5. Reason being that I think Pent-Up Calamity is going to nicely solve land 2 this turn, and then Asphyxiating Smoke is going to take out a town in land 1, probably, and then we're going to just have to try and get in there and solve it with tokens as soon as we can, using Pent-Up Calamity, or via a new power that we draft later on. So I'm going to go ahead and just take out land 4. We get Memory Fades to Dust, which is great. We'll need the extra Blight. If we'd gotten a lesser Blight card, we'd be in serious trouble here. So I'm going to push these to Han, into land 5. And then play Pent-Up Calamity and Asphyxiating Smoke. So, Firestorm kills the Explorer in land 7. Pent-Up Calamity hits land 2. We remove tokens. I'm going to go ahead and remove both tokens just to get the full fear and damage. And that'll earn us another fear card this turn, which could be useful. Memory fades to dust. Destroy a presence. We've got this lovely stack in land 7 that we don't need, so I will destroy one of them. And on each... Alright, Blighted Island. Blight spreads. On each board, add a blight to a land adjacent to a land with blight. We can't let that happen, because we will die horribly if that happens. So we need to destroy a presence instead. So I'll choose land 6, and then I'm going to destroy 2 presents. I'm going to destroy land 4 and land 7, one more. Keep that Sacred Site up for Asphyxiating Smoke. We get rid of an Explorer, which is nice. Heavy Mining, which is not nice. We put a town in land 5. We cascade the Blight to land 2. And now we just need to solve land 1 before they murder us horribly. Asphyxiating Smoke, we can use to take out the town in land 5, or we can use it to take out one of the towns in land 1. I think that one of the towns in land 1 is going to be a better bet here, just because we can reclaim next turn, and I believe we have... Oh, no, we don't actually have enough air elements to try and take care of 5 and 8 simultaneously. So, never mind, we're going to take out the town in land 5. And we will push Idahan into land 2, just to try and stop that escalation if we do get a Jungle Explore next. Burnland regrows, we get to clean up a Blight. I'm going to clean up one of the Blight in land 8. Keep Firestorm potential there, but also get a Blight back on the card. And then we're going to reclaim cards, and I am going to... Let's see, I really want a major probably in order to take out land 1. I don't think we're going to be able to do it with miners. We could potentially cycle Pent-Up Calamity a couple of times to see if that'll be enough to take out land 1 in its entirety. But, well, that might actually be enough. So I'm going to gain a major regardless, see what we get if there's something that just solves the island and we can win this turn. And I'll probably forget Asphyxiating Smoke because I don't think that one's going to do enough for us the rest of the game. Let's see, we're not in a wetland, so Cleansing Floods doesn't do too much. Unlock the Gate's Deepest Power lets us mulligan a little bit. Vengeance of the Dead is kind of meh. If we have enough damage already, we're probably good. Sweep into the Sea is tempting. Be able to destroy all of the explorers and towns in land 1. So I think I'm going to take that and see what happens. I might play that in a turn or so here. But for this turn, I am going to play Pent-Up Calamity and Flame's Fury. Which should be enough to get me 2 damage to clear land 8. And we'll clear land 5 next turn by with Firestorm. The only thing would be is, do I want to clear land 5 instead to cut off Explorers to land 6 potentially? And I think I do actually. So I'm going to actually play Threatening Flames instead of Flame's Fury. Firestorm in land 8 still to clear that, and then Threatening Flames to push the Explorer into land 1, where we've already got our problems. We will then Pent-Up Calamity in land 1, add Disease and Strife, and we'll hopefully be able to use that again in a turn or so here in order to wipe out land 1. So I'm going to destroy a presence. I'm going to clear land 8. Yeah, because I want to keep my Sacred Site in land 7. Festering Pits of Blight. We add another Blight and can't stop it, which is fine. We have an extra one on the card just for that. And then Lingering Plagues will be nice. That'll let us get another token for Pent-Up Calamity next turn, which should be, I think, just enough to get us the win, if nothing else goes wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and add the Blight to land 7, where we can clear it. which, oh wait, no, it's from an event, right? Never mind, I'm going to add it to land 1. And add a disease to land 1. And we may push from an inland, that's not very useful. Invaders ravaging the sands, build in the mountains, nothing happens. And invaders explore the coastal lands. That's fine. Burned land regrows, lets us clean a blight. I will remove a blight from land 5. And then I'm going to just reclaim, and we should win the game here. Gain a minor power. Doesn't matter too much what we pull here. None of these are really going to impact what happens, because we're going to just play Flame's Fury and Pent-Up Calamity. Flame's Fury on ourselves, Pent-Up Calamity on land 1, remove 3 tokens, and deal 9 damage, or 10 damage, which should clear out all of the buildings. So that's Sweden 6 as Wildfire. We took a lot of blight, obviously. We were able to come through in the end, but sometimes, especially with the event deck, if you get some bad whammies on the Blighted Island events, you can just lose to those. But Wildfire is pretty good at setting up zones of control and letting Sweden just sort of fall apart because they can't manage to do their ravages. But yeah, that's Wildfire Sweden 6. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. If you've got any thoughts or differing opinions on things I did, mistakes you saw, please let me know in the comments below, or join me on Discord and we can talk there. Thanks again.